I'm listening to 49er Rush. Niners all day. Let's bring 6 home, baby. Let's go.
I love it, man.
It's time for the 49ers Rush podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? How freaking awesome was that preseason game? I'll tell you what, man. I was pumped, man. It was like the first quarter, and like I was on the edge of my seat. They're switching out quarterbacks. I haven't seen that before. We knew we were going to see some of that, but holy cow! And I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us, which is awesome. But man, I really think that teams are going to look back on this, and this is kind of a little bit bigger than the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan's going to revolutionize the way in which you bring rookie quarterbacks into the NFL. It's going to be different. Like, everybody always talks about, Alex Smith to Patrick Mahomes, you sit a year, all that stuff. Like that, the way that we reference that all the time, that's huge. This is like the next level. That's what this is. And so I think it's incredible. I think there's a lot to take away from this game. I want to say thank you to everybody for being here. So let me know what your initial reactions are. So throw that up in the chat. Like, what was the thing that you took away from this preseason game? Because we've been doing this for years now. Usually after the preseason game, it's like, all right, yeah, this rookie played well. That rookie played well. This guy, injuries, whatever else. And so my two biggest takeaways. Number one, we made it through the preseason without losing any major key starters. Now, you can go back to OTAs and minicamp. Obviously, we lost the safety, Tarvarius Moore, Jeff Wilson Jr., but no starters were lost, which was great. And so that's the big thing, right? If you can get through the preseason and you can be like, hey, we didn't lose anybody, that's great news. So that's first off, okay? I love that. Number two, the quarterback situation's entertaining no matter what. Like, you've got to absolutely love it. And, it's funny. I put this out. I tweeted this out. Here's how I phrased it. I said, thoughts on how the 49ers were switching quarterbacks on the first two drives. And I gave two options. A lot of people wanted three options. I said, do you love it or do you hate it? 84% of people said they love it. 15% said they hate it. So in the comments, I want you to put this down now. I want to get kind of a live action poll here. Did you love the quarterback switching or did you hate the quarterback switching? Because I think you could see it both ways. I loved it personally. I thought it was fun. And if you just look at, just from a defensive coaching standpoint, a defensive coordinator, you've got a plan. You personnel, okay? So what you do is, again, we do this at high school. You have somebody up in the box with binoculars, and what they do is they watch, they're paying attention to the numbers coming in. And so they'll tell you, 12 personnel, 21 personnel, all this stuff. And so that helps you get your defensive calls in and kind of, what blitzes you can and can't do. So not only are you personnelling who's coming in and out of the game on offense as a defensive coordinator, now you've got to say, okay, it's 12 personnel, but Trey Lance is in, or it's 21 personnel, Jimmy's back in. It's not even like, a full series. There was one, that very first drive, Trey Lance got 5 plays, Jimmy Garoppolo got 5 plays, and they weren't concurrent. No quarterback took over 2 plays consecutively. So it's just one more thing. And Kyle Shanahan, whether you love him or you hate him, you better love him. He's incredible. He's innovative. There's a reason why he's regarded as one of the best play callers and innovators in this league. And we saw it today. Imagine being Don Burr or the Detroit Lions out there right now, and you're just like, crap. All right, okay. We've got to go back through. We need to have new calls to tell our Mike backer who's in, because it's just going so quick. You add into all the pre-snap motions. Good Lord. It's just more that you have to prepare for. And as a defense, you want simplicity because when you have to think on a defensive side of the ball, you slow down. It's an instant reaction type of game is what you're looking for. And Kyle Shanahan's, he's playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. Now, this could go horribly wrong. And so 13% of people that hated it, I'm saying this in the chat. Oh, thank you. $40 faithful forever. Appreciate the gift. Yes, I'm with you there about the defense being stacked. And fear Bosa, hashtag. We haven't seen him yet. But, I mean, after what Trent Williams said about him, just recently, good Lord, about how, he got better through the injury and stronger through the injury. His body sure as heck looks like it. I'll say that. I'm really excited about this defense. And we're going to be talking a lot about, cuts and all that stuff. They have till Tuesday to cut down to 53. 27 players got to get cut off this roster, which I hate. And that we've got to get some trade done. We're spoiled at some positions, but we'll talk more about that. Devin, he has a comment. Appreciate it, Devin. That game was amazing. We had most of our starters today, and we dominated on both offense and defense. That was an absolute beatdown, Devin. I'm with you. We had 26 first downs. They had 12. And most of their success came on that one drive where Ambry Thomas made like one of the worst tackles I've ever seen in my life and gave up that touchdown. But, I mean, total yards, 375 for us to 212. And it was bad. It was bad how fast and how quick the 49ers looked against every single team. And, the offensive line was stellar. And it was every offensive line. It wasn't just, the first string that was out there for the first drive. And then it was like kind of first and second string mixed for the rest of the first half. It was top to bottom. Our offensive line dominated their defensive line the entirety of the game. And if you flip it, and this is kind of who the 49ers are, the defensive line completely shut down the Raiders. The run game, nothing. The pass game, very, very little. I mean, how many sacks do we have? I think we had like 5 sacks this game. And it's a testament to how you build a team. Because the defensive line, offensive line, that's where we've invested the most draft capital. And it's starting to pay off. The most free agent money, the dollars, all that. Draft capital, actual capital, it all goes towards the line. And it trickles down from there. That's the idea. Adam, want to say thank you, man. He said, my takeaway is JaMycal Hasty, baby. Oh, it's Hasty season, and I freaking love it. Makes this team. If we waive him, we are waving goodbye. He looks so good, man. Now, he's had some fumbling issues. And if we know Kyle Shanahan doesn't like something, that's what it is. And, man, I appreciate the gift, again, Adam, and the comment. The 49ers need to make some trades. And I think that there's, 3 main positions that have to be traded. One of them is the running back. You're not keeping 5 running backs and a fullback. You're going to keep 4 running backs and a fullback, right? So Raheem Mostert, Trey Sermon, they're locks. Now you get into, there's 3 guys, Wayne Gallman, Elijah Mitchell, and JaMycal Hasty. One of those guys isn't making it, okay? So I can make the case for all 3 of them making it, but again, you can't keep 5 guys because if you do that, now you're losing a defensive lineman. So I don't care which 2 of those 3 make it, but you need to trade one because whoever you cut, Elijah Mitchell might not be picked up. I don't know. Wayne Gallman's going to get picked up 100%. He's got starting experience. He's the best pass protector out of our entire group. He's got to get picked up. JaMycal Hasty, way too exciting. And I know I'm with you, Adam. I think somebody picks him up. I really, really do. And especially whenever you're looking at Baltimore, who just lost J.K. Dobbins for the season. They haven't made it a move yet. Why not trade them? Trade JaMycal Hasty, trade Wayne Gallman, trade Elijah Mitchell, trade something. Get back a 6th or a 7th instead of just letting this guy walk. I totally don't want that. And so, again, running back, I think you need to trade one of those positions. Next up, defensive line. Woo! I think they're going to keep 9 or 10. And I was on Nothing But Niners this morning with, Jason Aponte and Croc and the Nothing But Niners guys. Peachy, it was awesome. We had a great time going through this roster. It's a long show if you want to go watch it. But I kept telling everything, what's the strength of our team? It's defensive line. So you cut back a couple of those positions, whether it's quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, I don't care. Keep the D line. It's the strength. And so if I had it my way, I want to keep 11 D linemen. Now, I don't think they're going to do that. But again, you're cutting somebody that is a stud, whether it's going to be, Givens, Contavious Street, Maurice Hurst, which I don't think Hurst is getting cut because he's been injured and they haven't waived him. So I think he's going to make the roster, and then they're going to put him on short-term IR immediately after the 53. Because again, this is one of the distinctions. The cut-down date is Tuesday, and they have to make the initial 53-man roster before they can go on short-term IR. If you put somebody on IR, injured reserve now, they're done for the year. So they have to make the initial 53, then you put them on IR, then you can bring somebody back. So I would love Zach Kerr. I mean, good gosh, Arden Key. You can't cut those guys. And Jordan Willis, who's been playing like a madman, he's suspended for the first 6 games, so he doesn't count against the penalty or against the initial 53-man roster. So that's good. We'll get him back in 6 weeks. So we're going to get a little bit more defensive help. So again, trade a running back, trade a D lineman, trade a linebacker, because we're just so stinking deep at that area where whoever we cut from those, they're signing somewhere else. We're losing them for free, which is what you don't want to do. You don't want to lose them for free. You want to get something in return. We're already short on picks next year, so that's the big deal. Go get some picks, see what you can do there. Tommy, thanks for the gift, man. He says, Raiders are greater than the Lions. I do agree with that. I do think the Raiders are a better team. They didn't play a lot of their starters or stars like we did. So you got to put that in. But they're a very poorly coached team and a very, very bad defense. Very bad special teams as well. So the Raiders are bad. Lions, I definitely have in the bottom 3 of the NFL for sure. Raiders, they'll probably be like a 7-10 team. I think that's about what they can do. I don't believe in that defense. They're in a tough division, and I'm not a big Derek Carr guy. Adam, okay, here we go. He says, also switching quarterbacks allows them to get the play call on the sideline for a hurry-up offense and allow a quicker pace. It does. It really, really does. There's every single decision that you make has opportunity cost with it, right? There's pros and cons. And so, yeah, it does disrupt the rhythm. That's an issue. But, again, man, you're trying to get those quarterbacks in and out. Anytime the offense subs, the defense has to have time to react to the substitution. That's a rule in the NFL. That's when you see the ref waiting on top of the center, not letting him snap the ball because he's like, wait, you gotta wait, and then they watch the defensive guy get off, then they let him go. So that's going to be an issue for sure. But it's just so intriguing. It's something new, and so I love it because, again, I just think from a coach's perspective, right? That's what I am. Man, I would hate to prepare for this because now all this film, the good thing is Detroit has 2 weeks to prepare for this, right? If we're putting ourselves in their shoes. But golly, that's going to be a lot. That's going to be a lot of work. It really, really is. And yeah, I'm with you, Caller. Kali says, if we stay healthy, we're going to be a problem. And that's your number one goal. Back to where we started. What's your number one goal in the preseason? Stay healthy. Check. We freaking did it. We did it. Now, I got a couple giveaways. All right, I'm excited about this. Got these awesome hats right here. Check these out, baby. Right here. So we always do crazy giveaways on here. It's just what we do. It's a 49ers Rush podcast. So this hat, here we go. We did this on Twitter. All you had to do is retweet it, and Countdown Crew, you got in there here. The winner of the red hat from Represent, if you're interested in this hat, they don't sponsor the show. I had to buy them. Actually, a Patreon member gave these to give away. But it's residency with instead of the E, it's a 3. Just type in residency SF hats. I get a lot of questions. Where do you get these? But that's where you get them. So the giveaway winner is Twitter handle at in this crowded room. Congratulations, you win the red 49er or SF hat. And I also did a special Patreon giveaway where I asked everybody to guess the total yards of Trey Lance in this preseason game, and everybody guessed the over. His total yards were not very significant. He played much better than the stat sheet looks like, and we'll go over that. So this goes to the winning guess was 84 yards. And he turned up with 54 yards. So, Don Dickinson, congratulations. I'm going to get this mailed out to you. Just want to say thanks. And again, we do a lot of giveaways over on Patreon. And we have, tonight is going to be awesome because we have our Zoom hangout tonight. If you haven't done this yet, go try it. Just go give it a shot. And if you don't like it, you can cancel. Money back guaranteed. We're going to be doing a Zoom hangout for about an hour, maybe longer tonight, going through the 53-man roster together and just chit-chatting back and forth with everybody. So if you want to be a part of that, head over to patreon.com, type in 49ers Rush Podcast, and join our Jerry Rice tier. I have over, I think, 175 film breakdowns available for you. So as soon as you sign up, you get all those. Join us for the Zoom hangout tonight. It's going to be awesome. We're going to talk about the game. We're going to go through the roster. Got the spreadsheet set up, and we're going to settle some stuff, and we're going to see how close we can get to it. So hopefully you can join us at 7 p.m. Pacific time tonight on Zoom. All the information is there whenever you sign up. So let's see here. Oh, Don, here he is. Thank you for the gift. He says, can I win a hat? I need a new toilet. That's awesome. I appreciate Don, the resident troll for the Lions. I hope they pay you, man. I hope you work for the Lions because you're kind of the face of the franchise, which is awesome. I love it. Now, some players we got to see for the first time in a while. Back in action, Jaquiski Tartt, which, you know, he came in and made a hellacious tackle on 3rd and long to force a punt, a 4th down. But he got up hobbling, and it's just like, oh, man, again. The good news is he came back in and got a couple of snaps in later. But I think this is just it's Tartt's MO. He cannot stay healthy. He's going to make this roster. There's no doubt about it. But because of who Tartt is, you have to keep an additional safety. You have to. He just misses way too much time. We also saw Jalen Hurd, which, man, let's talk about Hurd watch. It was pretty bad. It was actually really bad. You kind of see what he did and what he brought to the game. You know, you look at the box score, and it's just bad. That's all that there is to it. Like, there's nothing else you could say. It just wasn't good. Let's see here. He had 1 carry for 2 yards, didn't force a missed tackle, whatever. Okay, cool. He had 6 targets. He caught 4 of them, but he had 2 drops. One of them was just a blatant drop. The other one, a little bit contested, but a perfect pass from Trey Lance. And again, would have been a huge first down. So he had 4 catches for 25 yards. But they made it apparent, we need to see what this guy can do. And they hope for some kind of flash. I don't think you saw a flash. And so what is his status? I think we're going to find out Monday. You know, John Lynch went on KMBR and said, you know, he's definitely one of the best 6 receivers we have. It's just about health. So that's another one of those kind of toss up in the air things. I was not impressed by Jalen Hurd, though. However, let's be fair. It's his first game in 2 years. His last game was that preseason game against the Cowboys where he scored 2 touchdowns. So he's been battling a lot. It's going to take him some time to get back for sure, but I think Kyle Shanahan's loyal, and they invested a 3rd-round pick in this kid. I think they're going to bring him back. I really do think that he's going to be here. But now let's talk about this. Some other people, Juwan Jennings. Okay, he got back out there, didn't really see much, and I think it's an issue. I think it's Juwan Jennings or Jalen Hurd. I don't think you keep them both. And obviously the potential is all about, you know, Jalen Hurd. Man, I really like what I saw from Juwan Jennings before this game. And so I don't think you can keep both those guys. I just don't see it. Kinlaw got out there, man. He was out there for the first half and looked really, really good. Made a couple pretty solid plays. The defense is just different with him. Like, because he plays the 3 technique, he's very, very similar to like Vince Wilfork type of a mentality, but from a 3 technique. And what I mean by that is you can't move him. You can't move him. And so, like, he just helps the run game so much because the linebackers are always free. And so, it's so funny, like, people like to box score scout, and I understand that. But until you watch the film of the game, you don't really know. And so, again, we do all the film breakdowns. If you haven't joined us on Patreon, I've got access to the all 22. As soon as the NFL gets it, it's mine. And we'll be going through every single play, all 22 throughout the week. Last week, I think we did 2 hours and 20 minutes of breakdowns, every single play, offense and defense. Again, that's on our Patreon page. Not allowed to share it here, but that's there for you. Let's see here from CJ. He says this. Who do you think would be easier to stash on the practice squad, Hurd or Jennings? Oh, Jennings, 100%. And I think, CJ, I think you made a good point in the way you phrased your question. Do you just go with keep the best player? Is that the mindset whenever you're building your 53? Or do you have to get sneaky with it and crafty with it and say, okay, these two guys are close, but I'm almost positive we can stash him on the practice squad. I don't think we can stash him on the practice squad. So we might be able to keep both. It's a both and instead of either or, right? So we can keep both of them if we're smart about it. And so again, Jennings, he didn't fit the metrics for a lot of teams. A much slower guy, bigger body. He's lost some weight and he's looked good. But whenever you look at Jalen Hurd, oh my gosh, he went in the 3rd round versus Jennings, who went in the 7th round. There's a big difference there. Neither of them have any tape out there. But I don't think that's even close. Chris, just want to say thank you for the gift, sir. I love it, man. The hype on this team. And again, let's step back from the game just for a second. It's a preseason game. Yeah, we won 34-10. Awesome. Dominated the Raiders. Awesome. That's great. Always good whenever you destroy them. But whenever you step back and it's okay, let's look at the overall perspective of this team and what this looks like for the 2021 year. Where are expectations? Where how do you feel about what's about to take place? It's strong. You have to be able to just look at it. I don't care that we're in the toughest division in football. I don't care about that. I don't care that, the quarterback situation is what it is. We got 2 good quarterbacks. Trey Lance got a ways to go, but that's okay. He's going to get there, and his mobility is going to help. But defensively, roster-wise, coaching-wise, find the issue, right? You're only as strong as your weakest link. Right now, what's our weak link? Our offensive line is freaking stacked. Really, really good. Okay, right guard might be a question mark, but man, that's okay. You can deal with that. All right, wide receivers. Okay, depth is a concern. But man, you've got 2 great young wideouts in Debo and Ayuk. Tight end, you got the best tight end in football. Running backs, we're solid. How great did Mostert look? Whew. He went out there, 7 carries for 53 yards on that opening drive. Speed check, it's there as always. That stiff arm looked nasty, man. He got 2 different guys with a stiff arm. Looked great. So running back, yeah, our issue is we're going to have to get rid of somebody. Okay, defensive line. There's not a team with a deeper defensive line group than we have. There's not one. There might be teams with a better starting 4, but there's not better depth, especially at the defensive tackle position. We go 3 deep at both defensive tackle spots. And I'm not exaggerating either. If you want to throw Armstead in there, we might have more than that. Linebackers, golden. Now, the question mark was corners and safeties outside of Jimmy Ward. That was the issue. But man, Diamador Lenore, that dude's balled out. Talanoa Hufanga, he's proved he deserves some playing time. We thought he was just going to be a special teams guy. No. I'm telling you right now, he's the first safety off the bench. So if Tart is struggling, it's him, not Tavon Wilson. And Clinton Dix, he goes out and gets another interception, looked incredible. The safety group, that was one of my biggest question marks. Not anymore. Okay, corners. Man, I think we've got something there. I really, really do. Demo is for real, guys. Now, Ambry Thomas, he's struggled. He has struggled. He needs time to season. But what we have to do is imagine if they were picked differently. What if Demo was picked in the 3rd round and Ambry Thomas was picked in the 5th round? We'd all be saying, yeah, this is appropriate for how they're playing. It's just switched their positions. And so it's easy to be like, man, I can't believe we wasted our 2nd round pick on Aaron Banks. And I get the injury and whatever else, but he's been awful. He's been god-awful. But I'm telling you right now, if we spent that same pick on Demo, we would be so satisfied. He's outplayed a second-round corner status. It's just preseason. I understand that. But he's been playing against starters. You remember his very first snap in the NFL, he was guarding Tyreek Hill. When the Chiefs went out there with Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes, that's who he was guarding. And I loved how we moved him to the inside. So he started the game at outside corner, and then in nickel packages, he would shift down to the inside slot guy. That's awesome. So I'm telling you right now, here's what's going to happen. You've got your starters on the outside at corner, and I'm going to jump back to our overall theme here in a second. You have your outside corners. That's awesome. Like Emmanuel Mosley, Jason Verrett, those are your guys. You got your slot guy, K'Wan Williams. If any one of them goes down with an injury, Demo's the first in. Any one of them. If either of our safeties goes down, guess what? Hufanga's in there. So we're going to get those guys reps because it's the NFL. There's issues. That's what happens, especially with COVID and all these different things going on. So the overall team, that we just went through the whole roster. Where are the issues? It's a solid team top to bottom. We have a great coaching staff. There's no reason this team can't make the playoffs. And you say, well, look at 2019. We were saying the same thing. You're right. We didn't have the depth then that we have now. The depth has been created through free agency, bringing everybody back. And then the draft, you've replenished. You've replenished talent and depth, and they don't have to play right away because we're solid. So you get to kind of redshirt these guys. It's almost like an NFL approach. And with our coaching staff, good Lord, we're making the playoffs this year. I'm sold on that. I'm telling you right now. And I put my money where my mouth is. This my bookie. I'm betting with them, and I put it on there. And I'm excited for the season to start because we're going to have some more bets. On Tuesday, we'll have a betting episode. So I'll get into some more of those things for you. But there's just so much to take away here. And the opportunity that this team has before them, it's huge. Look at what Jimmy G did on that first drive. Like, yeah, the stats are good, whatever. You want to look at, what he did. He goes 4 of 7 for 64 yards. That's incredible. But, man, the toughness, he stuck his freaking head down and went and got that touchdown and popped up like he was 20 years old with a big old smile on his face. Look how hungry he is. And I know a lot of people are like, not Jimmy guys, and you want Trey Lance to start now, and I totally understand that. You're not going to find somebody that's a bigger Trey Lance guy than me. It doesn't exist. But whenever you can, Trey Lance ain't ready, guys. He's not ready. Turned the wrong way on the handoff. He looked like LeBron James whenever he was yelling in the Cavs final, whatever. It was hilarious. He just turned the wrong way. There was no running back there. Bobbling snaps. He's 21 years old. He hasn't played football in a long time. Allow him to organically grow into this role, and it's going to pay dividends. It's going to pay dividends. But back to Jimmy, golly, man, just looked efficient, which is what he does, right? Jimmy's not going to shock us with deep balls or whatever. Like we know who Jimmy is, and that's okay. That's okay. That's all you need him to be. Be the best Jimmy that we've seen, and we're going to be just fine. Especially whenever you're sprinkling in Trey Lance with the deep ball, Trey Lance with the red zone packages, Trey Lance with the mobility inside the pocket. Again, and as he proves he can handle that and transition into more play time, that's what we want. It's a win-win-win. It's best for the 49ers, best for Trey Lance, and it's best for Jimmy Garoppolo, which is important because we want that trade capital for next year. Like, we want to be able to get a second-round pick or a first-round pick from next year. Or possibly this year if an injury takes place. That's what that is. Now, before we jump into some more questions on here, very important, I got some good news about this one. The 49ers Rush road trip, baby. We're going to Philly in 2 weeks. You got to come party. If you're anywhere on the East Coast, come party with us. And I've got some tailgate information for you right after this. So excited, guys. We have worked so hard for this, and all the details are finally finished and coming together. The 49ers Rush road trip for our Philly game, which is going to be week 2. So that's Saturday, September 18th, the night before the game. We are going to be meeting up at the Drinkers Pub, which I freaking love it. I mean, if you've ever been to Philly, or again, shout out to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the pub is the heart of Philadelphia. It's just what it is. So we have, this place is awesome. I've been there before. It's only a few short blocks away from our hotel. We're staying at the awesome Warwick Hotel in Rittenhouse Square. Come join us. We have the second floor all to ourselves. We've got pool tables. We got multiple TVs for college football on. We've got giveaways, raffles. We have our own bar service and food service. It's going to be an absolute blast. Hang out, drink, but more importantly, come for the community. It's going to be 49ers fans flying in from all over the place, from 6:30 to 9:30. If you want to go party out afterwards, that's cool. But again, we're going to be hanging out there for a long time. So head over to 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Click on Philly. This is week 2, okay? And buy your tickets there. They're $25, and everything that we bring in through the website, it's going back to giveaways. I've bought multiple jerseys, giveaways, autographed memorabilia. So whenever you come in, you're going to get raffle tickets, all those things. We're going to be doing trivia, lots of stuff, lots of ways just to have a blast with people that you want to hang out with. So head over there. Again, this is the Drinkers Pub Saturday, and we're staying at the Warwick Hotel. By the way, we still have discount rate available for hotels at the Warwick Hotel in Rittenhouse Square. It's one of the best historic hotels in Philly, and you get to save about $50 a night if you go over there and book it. So if you haven't got tickets yet, you need to get over there. 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Again, this is for week 2. Let's go, baby. Have some fun with us. All right, also just got off the phone working today with the 717 Empire Faithfuls chapter, which I'm excited about. We're going to be tailgating with them, which is going to be awesome. They have their own private setup. Already got about 200 people scheduled to go out there. It's going to be $25 for all the beer and food. It's nonstop, man. $25 for everything, and it's going to be just an awesome time with a bunch of 49ers fans. Podcast's going to be there. It's going to be a blast. And so if you want to do that, you can prepay. I put the information in the description of this video. All you got to do is just PayPal them $25 to 717 empirefaithfuls@gmail.com. So just PayPal there, and if you forget what that is, I put it in the description of this video. So we've got everything planned for you. We got hotel, we got party the night before, we got you taken care of for tailgating, and of course, we'll be going live right after the game's over, from the stadium itself. So this will be there. That's week 2. Also, just a couple other updates. We have updated for Los Angeles. Okay, so we're doing Chicago, Philly, and Los Angeles. And so the hotel and all that stuff, we're staying right on the beach, Hermosa Beach, which is going to be incredible. It's an absolutely lovely place. I've been there with my wife before, and we're going to be having our party right there. So it's going to be a really good time. So just 49ersrushroadtrip.com. That's available if you want to get your hotels for the LA trip. Now, a couple other questions that I'm seeing pop up in the chat. This is CJ, and he asked this. He says, do you think Kyle will put a third quarterback on the active roster, or will he move it to the practice squad? I know that he likes to keep 3. That's what CJ says. I don't think we keep 3. I think Nate Sudfeld will be waived and brought back to the practice squad. And here's why I think that. I like Nate Sudfeld, and I think that he's a very good number 3 quarterback. Very, very good. But if you look at the contract situation with what they paid him, it equals exactly, his guaranteed money is exactly the practice squad amount for the entire year, to the dollar. So they basically built into his contract, look, you're going to be a practice squad guy, bare minimum. You might do more, but again, if you keep Nate Sudfeld, you have to cut Hasty, right? If you keep Nate Sudfeld, you're going to have to cut a really good linebacker or a really good defensive tackle. And I just don't think there's a huge thing out there for Nate Sudfeld. I could be wrong, but the team that would probably want him the most would be Philly, but they just traded for Gardner Minshew. So that's going to be one of the things that kind of, again, sways at our side. So I think we keep 2 quarterbacks, and that's going to allow the 49ers to stash a position of strength, which is important. I would spend on the defensive line. Here we go from Terrell. He says, sorry to go off topic. What's up with the vacant 10th spot in our 10-man league? Yeah, this is the super fantasy thing that we're doing. I'm really excited about that. Payments have kind of been stopped. People aren't accepting the thing. They're not clicking on their league invite after they paid. But we're going to get it filled. Draft is next week, so we're just a week away from the draft. Me and Steven Spacrotelli, we're going to be getting everything short up this week. So just stay tuned for that. I promise you it's going to be taken care of. So sorry about that. I know it's frustrating. Now, a couple other things that I really wanted to mention before we jump off here that I think is really, really important, okay? The pass rush continues to be the strength of this team. And we got to see a lot of starters out there. Samson looked incredible. Samson looked so good. He had, again, just focusing a little bit more on that first series defensively. He runs the edge and the arc so well. He has that, what we call like the bend, right? Awesome quarterback hit. Just drilled him as he was throwing. The very next play, got another pressure and forced a quick pass. And so imagine what this could be, even though we got all those hits on the quarterback. Imagine what this could be with Bosa back, right? Hashtag fear Bosa. Imagine what this could be like, and I can't believe I'm saying this, with D Ford out there. Like, D Ford is going to play. And I kept saying, cautiously optimistic is what I think John Lynch coined that term when talking about D Ford. But this guy bet on himself. He pushed money back just so he could stay on this roster. I think the 49ers were going to move on from him. But he basically said, what do I need to do, contract-wise, to be on this team? He wants to be here. Obviously, he's got a lot of millions of dollars to prove why. But he kind of went against his own thing and kind of hurt himself financially to do this because he believes in himself and has worked really, really hard. Now, we were at this exact same point this time last year. What if he can be healthy? He gets out there in the first game, and by the second quarter, you could tell 100% was not right. But, man, he's looking really, really good. And he's going to get some more time off. We've got 2 weeks. This is another thing that's different with the CBA. There's 2 weeks until our first game. So there's a little bit of time. That's a big reason why teams like the 49ers played starters, because this is our bye week. Going into the 17-game season now, they took off a preseason game and added an extra week here. And so they have time to chill and get ready. Their bodies, physically, all those things. And I think that's important. Now, our cut down date for these 27 players that are going to be cut, that's Tuesday. And understand this, Kyle Shanahan's always like this with waiver wires, like anything, it doesn't matter. He will be the last to announce. The 49ers will be dead last. So as we start seeing all these players get cut on NFL Network and Twitter and Facebook and all these things, just understand 49ers will be the last ones. And I'm hoping, I'm crossing my finger, I want 3 trades. I don't care if we get 7th rounders, I'm cool with that. We need to trade a running back. We need to trade a linebacker, and we need to trade a defensive tackle. We can't keep them all. It's like Pokemon, right? Got to catch them all. We can't do that. And so that's kind of where we're at there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the show today. If you haven't already, subscribe, man. Subscribe and come join us tonight over on Patreon for our Jerry Rice tier Zoom hangout as we go through the 53-man roster in depth and just kind of argue some stuff out. So again, as I said, just go to patreon.com. There's an awesome app for it, which is what I use. Search 49ers Rush Podcast, and you can join us there. Jerry Rice tier gets you everything. Frank Gore tier gets you all the video breakdowns. Or you can just sign up friend of the show. And so there's a couple reasons to do Patreon. 1, supports this podcast. And 2, I don't think there's anybody giving that much content out. Several hundred hours of film breakdowns available over there for you. And again, we'll have every single play from this game broken down on the All 22. So that's going to do it for us today. Really do appreciate you guys as always. And as always, stay strong, faithful.